what you just described beautifully breaks down what one observes if you go to a dog park or the beach.
Yeah.
My bulldog mastiff Costello, he was a mudded bulldog. So I always say, no underbite. So it wasn't this with the elbows out, it was this, right? So a proper bulldog, before they inbred them so much that they have the underbite and the short snout, the brachycephalic, the breathing issues.
Yeah.
But he neither stalked nor chased, nor was he interested in killing anything. He didn't have that sense to try and harm, but he certainly liked to consume. So he was at the end of that behavioral description.
Yeah.
And
And
I think
what were they bred for?
so. I'll try and not take up too much time on this one because I want to learn from you. The original bulldog line was a cross between a mastiff, something like a mastiff, strong, large, high pain tolerance, and a pug, short snout. And the gene cross there, and obviously the dog geneticists weren't thinking about specific genes, they were thinking about traits, was the short snout was great for what's called bull baiting, because that short snout provides the kind of lever that when they bite down onto the nose of a bull, which is what they were used for, it was a cruel practice, very hard to shake them loose. The bull could shake them and they're not going to shake loose. Just think about trying to pick something up with long tongs, right? The physics of this versus a clamp, right? Like a C-clamp.
Yeah.
The mutation that takes the pain receptors out of the face or reduces them is close by another gene that is involved in generating the tensile nature of the skin. So this is why they have the jowls, the folds.
Oh, right.
And you can, I don't suggest anyone do this, but Costello, I'll just give an example. Sometimes, unfortunately, would like get a fish hook through his jowl when he was playing at the ocean or something. And he'd come up to me bleeding, smiling. Basically you have to take this thing out.
So his pain tolerance was quite high.
Pain tolerance is very high in the front of the animal, in the face. And toward the rear of the animal, you touch his back toe, and it's, so they have a gradient of pain receptors that runs high density in the back, low density to the front. So they were bred for bull baiting.
Yeah.
And the original line has been bred out. It's people who care about the bulldog breed and bringing some more humane breeding practices to the bulldog, because it's a pretty brutal breed now, have tried to reestablish the original line, which again were elbows back, no strong underbite, as opposed to what you see now. So that's the sort of brief history on the bulldog. They have to be born by cesarean because big shoulders, small hips. Anyway, the interesting thing about the bulldog, I always said, and this will take us back to behavior, was the contract that I felt I had with my bulldog was one of, he would protect me to the death. You do notice that anytime they hear a noise or anything, they're hyper vigilant. But if there's no impending threat, total relaxation. The most efficient use of energy of any species. So basically it was, I'll die for you, Andrew, but unless your life is in danger, I'm not going to do anything. So maybe we could talk about temperament in dogs and how they experience their emotional life. I don't know if we can make general statements about this, but you've spent a lot of your time thinking about the emotional life of animals. What does a dog need in order to feel calm and safe?
Great question. So in order to feel calm and safe, I think perhaps we should go to the core affect space, which I think is one of the 3 emotional models that I find very, very useful in understanding and providing like a good environment for animals so that they can thrive, really. So the core affect space is one way of depicting or conceptualizing emotions, where we have like valence on the x-axis, so how pleasant or unpleasant something is, and we have arousal on the y-axis. So what you're asking is, how can we make animals, and I'm not just dogs, but any species, how can we put them in quadrant 2 of that core affect space, essentially? So low arousal and pleasant, so where they're relaxed and they're feeling safe and they're sort of engaging socially with others and being sort of at ease, if you will. So how do we get there? And I think that some of the things to consider is then the absence of negative emotions. So if we're in the core effect space in the quadrant 4, with the high arousal unpleasant states, we'll find things like fear, aggression. So helping reduce that will sort of automatically help animals move to the right in the matrix. And in the lower quadrant 3, with the unpleasant low arousal state, where animals tend to end up, if they're sort of bored or depressed, is engaging them, providing an environment that's stimulating, that they can sort of do interesting things in to help them move into the right side of the core effect space. And also to the top in that, the quadrant 1 is the high arousal pleasant state, but that would be like seeking or foraging behavior, exploration, play, sex. But as to your question, how do we get into quadrant 2 with feeling safe and sort of that warm fuzzy feeling? So some of the things to do might be to, if the animal enjoys it coming from you, and they often have to know you in order to really appreciate it, is like tactile stimulation, so petting, essentially. Something that might interfere is that we humans are primates, and we're huggers. We tend to sort of go like this when we want to interact with an animal that we really like. And to many animals, this is restraint and really scary. And so the type of body contact that we offer to animals, that we should consider whether they really enjoy it or not, whether they tolerate it or enjoy it. And one way of doing that is to offer a consent test. So you might offer your hand and scratch a little bit, ideally in a place that the animal really enjoys. So most dogs don't enjoy having a hand on top of their head, but rather perhaps here.
On their neck.
Or the upper chest, sort of, yeah. So you might do that for a few seconds, and then you remove your hand to see, does the animal enjoy this? And will they then reinitiate that contact or not? Or will they move away? And I have this issue with my cat now, that he is not very, he doesn't sort of enjoy petting as much as I do petting him. So I have to be really mindful that I really offer him the chance to say no thanks.